Hello everyone, this is going to be a relatively short stream. I kind of tried to do this earlier, and I think it's perhaps worth an extra attempt trying to explain this. I think this would be useful for people. So first of all, I will put some links in the chat if I can get the chat to work. At the moment it doesn't appear to be. So this first link, this basically organises all the Dragon Kings according to their general tankiness, their difficulty, kind of. So for example, Final Fantasy VI is considered the most tanky with 6.2 million HP compared to Final Fantasy II, which only has 4.5 million. And then some might have extra defenses, I guess, higher defense and resistance, or they have extra dampen element, which can also be a problem. It also, on the second table, we've got kind of like a general, it looks complicated, but it really isn't. For those that have done Dragon Kings, you'll kind of recognize this, where really what we're interested in is column 1.8, which for some Dragon Kings we have a dispel to worry about. What else do I generally worry about? I mean, for a sub-30, that's really the only one you have to worry about. I would say possibly 1.9, column 4 is possibly something to worry about. And I wouldn't say it's important, but 2.6 is probably one worth knowing about, because some attacks in phase 2 stun your party, and some just lower the element of that party, so it shouldn't really matter. I've done a few test runs of this and I've not found any problems, so but I just think it's worth having this. I think it's very handy if you want to just look it up. So I'm not going to take credit for this. This is something that other people have done, so I'm just going to link directly to those authors. And then, unfortunately, I don't know who did this because the person has deleted their Reddit account, but these links in particular helped me get sub-30 in pretty much all of the Dragon Kings. Well, I would say both types of my sub-30 runs are either using Mog Awaken 2 or Oran Awaken, because they have an Awaken which counters the full break debuff at the beginning of phase 3. And you're free to check these out for yourself. I think there needs to be some element of being flexible, doing things that work best for you. So I've already put up, I think, Final Fantasy 8 and 10. I just thought, because I know someone who started playing this for the first time, so I thought, oh, I know they're interested in Final Fantasy 8 and 10, so let's show them kind of what they can look forward to if they keep playing. But then I've done Final Fantasies 1, 2 and 3, and I thought, okay, well, let's do a demonstration. We can talk through the steps now that we've got wait mode 2.0. I think before, when I did this, it was before wait mode. Now we have wait mode, so I can take my time to explain things. So this is typically my party. We have the healer in slot 3, because regardless of how many souls you have in phase 2, slot 3 is always going to get either interrupted or their elemental power lowered. Most are stunned, so we can say Rosa is more likely than not going to get interrupted. I don't remember which ones stun and which ones don't. So, and according to the two guides that I've linked above, Mog is generally in the bottom slot. I think, yeah, he's probably the best place for it because he doesn't take too much damage early on, but he still just about gets enough soul break points in order to be able to do what he needs to do. So that leaves slots 1, 2 and 4 for damage. Now, for those that know Dragon Kings, you will know that the first memory bite in Phase 2 will take 1 bar from slots 1, 2 and 3. So really, we want slots 1, 2 and 3 to have done all that they're going to do at the beginning of Phase 2. Slots 4 and 5, they lose 2 bars, but they lose it later. So they've got more time to get their soul breaks off. Slots 2, 3 and 4 generally get hit the most. And slots, I think 5 then gets hit next amount. And then you've got slot 1, which is hit perhaps the least. So let's get straight on to soul breaks. That's perhaps the most important. Healer, pretty much, I think, apart from Final Fantasy 14, all my healers have their Pro Shell Haste, Glint Plus. I think all of them now are available through lensing, except a couple. I think Unit from 10 is one, but I bought that from the stamp selection on the last festival, so if you haven't done that already, it's something to consider. And then there's Final Fantasy 14 with Y'shtola. If you don't have the lenses, or you simply don't want to do it, that's fine. The guide does say that you can put Hastega here, and Mog's Stone Skin will do the Protecting Shell, so you'll be slightly slower. You won't get instant cast haste, you'll lose a little bit of time, but I seriously don't think it's going to cause you any problems if you did Hastega and then carried on the reception. Your healer will just be ever so slightly slower than mine. We have Mog, naturally, with his Awaken 2. This is the most important one. Stone Skin, I think this is probably more useful than not. I wouldn't say it's useless. I think particularly if you're trying to beat these at all, having this cast off at the beginning just gives you that little bit of time to get your awakenings going and you're starting to heal again. And because this is a full mage team, I've got Awaken 1 here. But if you don't have a full mage team, or you don't have it at all, you could probably get away with this. Because we're going for sub 30, generally we cast the Awakening 2 around about 3 seconds, and then by the time you cast it again, it's probably going to be around about 21-23 seconds, and an Awakening lasts 15 seconds, so you're probably looking at 3 to 4 seconds of where you don't have your Awaken up, which shouldn't be too bad. Right, so the damage dealers. This is where it's going to become a little bit hard to give a straight up strategy for this, because I think I perhaps have more DPS than some people who are perhaps doing this for the first time, or they're trying to get sub 30. But generally I put in slot 1 a character with 1 break damage limit, in this case Awakening, and that's typically all they do. They will push all the way up to phase 2, and then they'll do their break damage limit, and then they'll push to the end. If they have anything like an ASB, sure, put that on the end, that's probably good. I would also suggest that anyone who has, say, either instant cast abilities, or perhaps they have, as one of their LMRs, instant cast 3, or perhaps they have, let's see, who, I don't think she has one, no. But if you've got the Labyrinth equipment, which gives instant cast for the first turn, again, anything here that gives that character a boost, because they're not going to get that much in the way of soul rate points compared to everyone else. But at the same time, I think the priority would be whoever's got the least to do. So you need to kind of weigh it up. If you've got someone who has a lot of things to do, you probably still want to put them in slots 2 and 4. But if they don't have a lot to do, consider putting them in slot 1. Or they can instant cast, which means they can build up their soul break quicker. Rydia, in this case, she's got 3 break damage limits. I really don't think you need 3. So you can ignore the Dyad if you wish. That's almost like having an ASB at the end. And I think if anyone knows Rydia's Sync 3, this is pretty bonkers, because every time, once this is up, every time someone does a turn, she will do Divine Breeze. So she will just go bonkers as soon as she gets that going. So let's just assume we've got 2 break damage limits here, but a 3rd Dyad would be perfectly fine. Sometimes, I think in my Final Fantasy II run, I have 2 Awakens and a Sync. So that's basically this, but Emperor only does 2 of his break damage limits. So the Dyad is just an instant cast free DPS for me. And then we have Edge with 2 break damage limits. I think that's sensible. You could maybe get away with just 1 break damage limit here, have a USB and then 1 break damage limit. But I think that's the general order. Slot 1, least soul break points generated, but they have the least to do. Slots 2 and 4, generally one needs to have 2 break damage limits, the other one just needs to have 1. Healer in slot 3, and Mog or probably Auron if you've got him in slot 5. As for here, we generally have this as high as you can. I would say if you're struggling on Rat Tail, well, if you can get 120, do that. If you don't and you're struggling for Rat Tails, I would say 110. 110 is probably fine, because I think this is one of the highest ones. 110 you get stat boon of 22, and the maximum is 25. Here you've got 21 versus 22. Here this stops at 99. Stops at 99. Here you got 11 versus 12. 11 versus 12. So you can generally see either you've already got the max passive or you're 1 off from the passive. It's really not that big. So if you can try and get 110, do so. Otherwise, you could try 105, then 99. And I think if you can't get to 99, then you should probably just maybe wait off on doing Dragon Kings until you've got more Rat Tails. I think this is all I've got for this team. I don't have any other people with hero equipment. I suppose I could put Palom on here. I mean, I could technically use Kane instead of Barbarissia, since he's got his hero equipment, but he's physical. Magic would just be better. Palom. Yeah, I could put Palom on here. I could do Awakening here. But this raises... yeah, I could do this. But I don't have his hero ability. And Barbarisio does just fine, so I really wouldn't worry. I've got Rubicante. Rubicante could maybe go on here, but I don't have his hero ability just yet. Theodore, I've got his stuff, but he's physical. It'd just be better to stick with magic. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I see no reason to change this team. Oh, suppose I should perhaps discuss this. Generally, I give the healer a Mog, the Soul Breakpoint LMR, sorry, not LMR, record materia, because Mog will want to do his Awaken 2 after the first full break, and the healer will generally want to get a heal off after, I think, turn 3 or 4. As for the DPSs, we are going to rely on being able to get enough soul break points generated from abilities and taking damage, such that we don't need to worry about building up soul break points. But I think that's generally it. If you want to go for the first chain, by all means do so, but I see no reason to pick chain 2. I think it does help that you get a damage reduction barrier for 1 attack, and also it reduces allies' actions for 1 turn. I thought it did something else. Oh, it did. Yes, there we go. A debuff barrier. So I think it should blink the first sap, which for some of you, I'm sure you are well aware of how nasty sap is. It's really annoying. You'll probably get sapped later, but it's better to have sap off for as little as possible. We'll save the team. And because it's wait mode, let's just get right into it. And I think from what I've seen of my past runs, there is a lot of flexibility in what you can do. Like, for example, in Final Fantasy III, I did 2 USBs in Phase 1, and I could probably have gone away with just 1. So if you want real optimization, you can have it, but at the same time, you have got flexibility. Okay. So it's going to vary a bit who starts first. Sometimes it's Mog, sometimes it's your healer, sometimes it might be one of your DPSs. But I think Stitching Time only lasts a relatively short time. Let's look it up, shall we? I think it might be 15 seconds, or maybe it's 25 seconds. 15 seconds. So it's a little bit early to be doing that right now, when we're not going to get the full benefit of it. So let's just get straight into doing damage. Mog generally does the chain straight away, but you could potentially leave it until the next turn if you want to. I've got Chain Tornado here just in case, but I think because I've gone Awaken, she's not going to worry about Lydia. She could do her Dyad, but let's just get straight into the damage. And I would say because summoners have fewer uses, we'll start off with Lunar Dragon. I want to keep the sync available just in case. And the healer generally does her Protronics. Double casts shouldn't matter too much. I've certainly not got to the point where I have to rely on a double cast to win. Okay, keep going with the damage. Turn 2 for the healer. Generally, your Historic Crystals. Let's get this off. We don't want to leave it too long, otherwise we're going to not get the full benefit of it. Going with him. Ordinarily, Stitching Time is probably not that important. Only ninjas can use it, so we could just assume that Edge is a secondary damage dealer. In Final Fantasy X, for example, I've got Jet in slot 4, I think, and he's a monk. You could, if you want to, use a Mega Drive for a couple of turns and then cast. That's up to you. Mog on his second turn will start off with Stone Skin. Because all our characters are a little bit low on HP. There we go. Let's get the damage going. We want to build up these soul break points. Okay, now this is where I found it a little bit interesting. Sometimes I've let my healer do one of her abilities, or his abilities, but I think on one attempt that I did, Mog died, and I don't know necessarily whether I did something wrong or I've been relying on chase heal, so let's just go ahead and do a soul break now, and in this case let's just stick with the USP. I don't think many people will have the sync because it's harder to come by, but let's just get that done. And I think if Edge gets hit, he should be fine. See, I'm tempted to just use Edge now, but let's stick with just... Yeah, well, we'll do Stitch in Time then. That will get him to about 21 seconds. Mog has time to do one turn, so let's just do Passionate Assault. It doesn't matter which one. I think it's just more to lower everyone, lower the stats of the boss. Barbaricia is not going to do her break damage limit, so she can just keep doing DPS. Edge can... So I'm wondering if you've got 2 break damage limits, that might be a little bit too much DPS. So I think at this point I should probably explain why I'm saving soul break points for later. In phase 2, we have these things that go around the boss which are called souls, and some of his attacks depend on how many souls he has. And for, let's actually see if I can bring up the actual turn. I think it's turn 6 of phase 2. So this is where he either does stun or bar. Well, stun, which is the interrupt, and bar is the bar element. So he kind of reduces your elemental effectiveness. That is based on how many souls you have, and really, especially when it comes to stun, which is mostly what he does, if you've got 3 or more souls on the boss, then he will stun slots 2, 3, and 4. And that's kind of not what you want to happen, really. If you're going to have anyone get stunned, you want it just on slot 3. So we need to clear those souls by... I'll keep an eye on them. We need to remove those souls by casting soul break points. Or soul breaks. And 1 soul equals 1 bar. And the math states that after turn 1 he has 6 souls. Then after turn 2 he has another 2, so that's 8. Generally you want to have cleared those by then, or at least some of them. So let's just assume that you've cleared all of them. So that's 8 bars you need to have got rid of after 2 turns. Then I think turn 3 you have 2 souls, so that's 10. And then after Memory Bite you have 3. So that's 8 plus 5. 8 plus 5, so that's 13. You need 13 bars to, I would say, effectively do this. I mean, you can try and do it with less, particularly if they don't stun you. I think in one of my runs, I think Final Fantasy 2, I actually got stunned on slots 2, 3 and 4 and I made it perfectly fine. But let's try and assume that you can't do that. So keep an eye on my son at the same time. So generally we have two bars from slot 1, 2 from slot 2, 2 from slot 3, 2 from slot 4, 2 from slot 5. So that is 10. 10 bars, or what I would like to say is 5 soul breaks. And I think you need a minimum of 6, really. Yeah, that should be right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then someone needs to do a second one, and that would probably be, I think, it could be the healer. Yeah. The healer could do a second one, perhaps. It depends on whether you have extra soul breaks on your other 2 characters, Rydia and Edge. I'm trying to decide on what would be best. Yeah, so we've got stun for Final Fantasy 4, so I really do need to be careful. I would say let's leave Edge. Edge can just carry on. Rydia, this is where you perhaps have a choice here. You could do just the Awaken, and then you could leave these 2 for later. Or you could try and do the Dyad now and then the Awaken. But let's assume people don't have the Awaken. Sorry, the Dyad. And we might as well keep building up soul break points on Rosa. Okay, there we go. So now we can start doing soul break damage points now. We want Mog to wait now until full break goes on. So we just keep mashing this. There we go. Clear that straight away. And if you've got it homed, which really you should at the earliest opportunity, it will give him 2 uses of his Awaken, and you'll be able to get that damage reduction barrier, which will certainly help. Barbarisia, we're going to wait on her. Because she's got instant cast, she's going to get an unusually high amount of soul break points. So you could always put her USB on now and then go, but I don't think it's necessary in this situation. And generally we want to get to the end of phase 1 by about 15 seconds. Because we've got infinite home, we can start using the hero abilities now. I mean, if you have got, say, Barbarisia's ASB, you could always try and do the ASB during break damage limit phase, and then she'll do even more damage. So I'll get to the beginning of phase 2 before I kind of explain why I'm holding Edge back and Rydia's perhaps pushing forwards. Mog is just building up soul break points and healing. He needs to save his soul break points because he's not going to get a chance to get crit over. So we're getting up to the point now where we need to be looking at this. We don't want to get sort of too overzealous with the DPS because we want people to start doing soul break points ready at the beginning of phase 2. The same goes when we're hitting 40% for phase 3. We don't want mogged casts when we know we're going to hit 40%. And this can also have an effect as well, chases as well. Okay, so this is where I think we now need to be a bit flexible on what we want to do. The next hit is going to put us into phase 2. Now, I'm just wondering what would be the best thing to do here. Generally, someone needs to do the chain and someone needs to do the Historia Crystal. And I would say that's going to be your healer and Mog. Mog doesn't have too much to do, but I think he has perhaps more to do than your healer does. So let's have Rosa do the chain, because by the time it goes off it's going to be after 15 seconds, so let's cast that. Mog, by the end of phase 2 you need to have 2 bars. He's going to get hit, he's going to get casts off, but if you're too slow he could end up losing 2 bars, so really we want to get this up to 4 bars if we can. So he can afford to do the Historic Crystal because this is instant cast. At least he will be able to get going again. So let's cast that. Okay, so yeah, we're at the point now where if Barbarisia had done her USB, we might just be okay. Yeah. But I think there's going to be a slight issue if you have, for example, Glint Pluses, and also I did instant cast turns instead of normal cast, so I think you might be closer to 3.5 bars maybe, or possibly even 3 bars. This is why it's best she only does 1 soul break instead of trying to do 2, because not only if you do, let's say you do normal turns, then you slot in a USB, which isn't instant cast, that's even slower. That means you're going to be doing more damage, but building up less soul break points, and she's going to lose 1 bar early on. So really, I could lose the ability to do any soul break points. But now we need to decide on who's going to do what. So we've established that Edge and Mog, they can afford to sit on their soul break points because they've got more time to get theirs off, whereas Rydia and Barbarisia, they don't. They need to get them off as soon as possible, but because Barbarisia has only 2 bars to worry about, Bahamut could take one of these bars and we'd still be safe. But let's just get going. Let's actually start doing damage. It's not going to be a lot because we've got this 5-second wall, which I forget when it went off. I think must have been around about 14.5 seconds. And Edge, because he's got 2 soul breaks to worry about, let's get one of those off now before it gets too late. Here we go. This is where Rydia is. She did 1 awaken, and she doesn't have instant cast, and that's why she's so low. So I think really Rydia needs to start doing DPS. We haven't got time to do the Diana. Not right now. That's where we have a problem, where if you go too fast in phase 1, you don't have the bars for phase 2. Okay. Yeah, let's do this now, shall we? And I'm a little bit concerned that Mog will not get the soul beat points in time, so this is where really you need to have 6-star abilities as much as possible. Rosa. I think we'll wait on her. I think she can afford to wait. I want Rydia to get her turn off. We can't afford to waste any soul break points here. So let's go straight into the synchro. And then Edge. I think he can wait. I'll have him wait. So now, when Rydia suffers from Memory Bite, it doesn't matter, she's already got her soul break points off at this point. Mog, you really need to get your soul break points up. Barbarecia, she needs to start doing damage. But because we've got no souls to worry about, this is why I'm holding off on Edge. Ah, of course. This is why I've got Barbarecia, she's got the damage reduction barrier when she does her Awaken. There's the Champion Roar, so now I can do the Synchro. And there's the Memory Bite, so even though I have the Synchro, let's just do the USP. Let's assume, for you guys watching, I don't have the Synchro. They're pretty much the same. They both do Quick Cast 2 and just you have Synchro command. I really don't think it matters what you do at this point, but we could always do Unsullied Might. That will boost our holy damage, but because we've got Awaken active at the same time, let's go with Resolute Heart. We want to start building. Oh, we've already got the damage going. That's good. But we're down to 1 soul, which is good. That's what we want. We want less. I think we want less than 3. So you could get away with using normal glitz if you wanted to. But already I'm starting to think about what to do about Mog. He needs to be at full ATB by the time we reach 40%. But at the same time I can't wait too long because the second Memory Bite will remove 2 bars. So it's probably better to push than to wait. Here I don't think it really matters which one we choose, but let's do, because it's unlinked, we can just use his hero ability, which probably will do more damage. And we can see the walls worn off now. And okay, you got interrupted, so don't have to worry about which one to choose. Sometimes the Synchro ability is better than the hero ability. But here, yeah, this is where we need to think now, so at least now I have the opportunity to see how much damage. Oh, here we have the problem. Right. I mean, Rydia should be okay, but I think let's see if we can try and get hit. There we go. There's the swipe. So now... Oh, okay. That's another reason to wait. So Rydia is probably the better one to do DPS. So let's have Edge do his ability. And then we can get the Awaken 2 off. You could have potentially pushed let's say if the next turn was going to be memory bite, then yeah, it'd be better to push then and wait until the first turn of phase 3, and then you do the I think Rydia will do so much DPS in probably. Okay, so she's not doing too. There we go. Yeah, this is probably where the hero ability is better than the synchro because it's got a higher multiplier. But everyone seems to be good on deep damage, health, and they've got the dimensional reduction barrier. So we'll wait on Rosa. Go. Sometimes it's not important to clear the Dragon's Rage, it just helps. I think because we've got so much DPS, let's just go straight in with the ASB. Let's just see how much damage it can do. Rydia, unfortunately I can't show off her Dians because I'd never cast it. And that's just it. You don't need 3 soul break points, but she can't cast her ASB anyway, even if I had it slotted, so... Yep, that's pretty nice. This is why I prefer mage teams. They're so much easier to do. And I didn't put Edge's ASB on here, but we don't need it. He's probably doing more damage. If he triple casts his hero ability, you don't need the ASB. And then Barbarisha should just about get her turn off. Morgan, you're healing. And there we go. I've got this little guy who is getting a little bit upset. I think he wants some attention, so everyone in the chat can say hello to the baby. Eh? You wondering where Mummy is? You want to say hello? He's just staring at the monitor going, ooh. Okay, so I think hello Kubo J. So yeah, someone says hello. And he's kicking and wriggling, so I think he's trying to say hello back. You don't quite know how to say hello, do you? Now, do I dare test myself? With trying to do Final Fantasy 5. 5s can be a pain in the ass. I think maybe I should just take the dyad off. I mean, let's put it back on. So what you could potentially do is have Rydia do dyad. Dyads can be very good for phase 1, and then she could have done both her sync and awakening in phase 2, although I don't think that would perhaps be... If I was going to do that, I would put Rydia in slot 4. So then she's got more time to get both soul breaks off. And Edge can go in slot 2. He can do his awaken, and then he can do his synchro. But I think that might be okay, because yes, a dyad can break the damage cap, but it won't double cast automatically. So that's one alternative that you could do. Is you could do it the way I've done it, where we do Rydia awaken in phase 1, and then in phase 2 you do Barbarousia awakening, Rydia sync, so we take that off, and Edge can do 2 here, sync and awakening. So we'll save that team, and I could probably get rid of this as well. We're going to go poverty, and just to show people what it could do. So here we've got instantly restore a large HP, reduce delay of actions for 2 turns to the team, and grant them Regenga. Let's see what this does. Instantly restore a very large amount of HP, grant them magic barrier, which that might be useful to people. The only problem is that some people might rely on being hit in order to get the soul break points. That's the one problem with it, I guess. Grant's last stand, well, you saw it was never in any real danger. And increase the cap by 1, the damage cap. Well, she does kind of do DPS, but as you saw, I really didn't need to worry about DPS from her. She could have really have just done Wrath the whole time. So we'll save this team. I like to keep things simple on my team. Yes, I could have done a number of things. I could have ignored Barbarousia's ASB, for example. I don't think you really needed it. I just did it just to show what the Soul Break can do for newcomers. But you could easily have just done her Awaken here ability. Her Awaken here ability is 5 hits. Double that to 10. And each hit would be about, at most, 20k. So that would be 200k. At minimum. And if she triple cast, that would be 300k. Her ASB did... well, it did over 300k, but as you saw, the next couple of turns that I did from Edge and Rydia, more, it was overkill. So you could easily have done it without it. Hello, Dummy Thick. So I think we should probably try Final Fantasy V. I think this is where some people would be interested to know how to deal with the Dispel. And I wish I could tell you. I can't quite remember how I did it. But as you'll see from this team again, we've got Healer in slot 3, Mog in slot 5, and then we've got the DPS in slots 1, 2, and 4. So let's have a look at slot... yeah, no, let's go to slot 1. Slot 1's usually the easiest to explain. Here we've got Awaken and USB. But I think as you'll have seen from Final Fantasy 4 Dragonking, 1 Soul Break is probably enough here. So I think I just put the USB there just in case. Just in case I need, like, I need to get 6 Soul Breaks off in phase 2. That's kind of the only reason why it's there. But, ooh, I've got the Dual Awakening now, haven't I? So I could try that. That could be fun. And I've got a Dyad, so I'm just wondering what to do about that. Whether I should not show it off as in bragging, but just demonstrate how effective it is. But then I'm wondering whether the Synchro Water would be better. Because Go-Go and all his stuff, let's see. This mimics the previous action twice. Cold baby drool. Someone's drooling all over my hand. Oh, it's not your fault. You're being a good... this... every time I think yeah. So every time a water ability goes off, I think. Is that it? Yeah, cause the water abilities used by other allies to trigger it. So I think that's why I want him to do water. And then I think this one, this just copies it 3 times. And you might think that Go-Go isn't a very good physical person. Boy, can we be wrong about that, because when I've done my, you know, I think I vaguely remember when I did this fight, and Go-Go would, yeah, Showcase would be another one. Yeah, that's another showcase it. Demonstrate. But yeah, Go-Go, he can do some really nasty physical stuff. Is he actually on the back row? No, he's on the front row. That's good. Yeah, he will mimic Bart's hero ability, and he can do bonkers damage. So yeah, I think. Let's see, is this? Yeah, this has Imperil, so that's going to be useful. I think that's why I'll stick with Bart's doing water damage, because I don't really have anyone that's doing Imperil Wind. So I think although this seems really good, it's not necessary. And I think few people probably have it. People probably have Synchros and Awakens for Bart's more likely than anything else. And the Dyad, even though it's Wind, you could always do that, then the Synchro, and then carry on. So maybe I could try that. I think what I generally want to do is I want to save the Synchro for last, I think. Because when the Synchro goes off, any water damage that Bart does, Go-Go will follow after it. And I want to start piling on the damage after the wall has gone down. But it's what else to do here. I don't think I would want... Yeah, if anything, I think I would probably skip on that one. And I would just do these 2. Because the other one, this doesn't do any damage. It reduces delay for 3 turns, and then he mimics the previous action 3 times. And I can't guarantee what that previous action is going to be right now. But, you know, this is nice. Lower water resistance by 1, but his hero ability will do that for me. And his Synchro ability also does it. So who's going to do what in phase 1? Well, Cryol's going to wait till phase 2. That's easy. And it's instant cast as well, so that helps. I think what Bart's could do is he could maybe do his Dyad in phase 1, like Rydia. He's basically Rydia. He can, instead of doing Awaken and then Synchro, he could do Dyad now in phase 1, and then he can do the other 2 later. But I think if that's the case, he should move to slot 4. And then Go-Go, he can do one of these, and then he can do the other one in phase 2. So yeah, I think we'll swap those 2 around. And Lena's got her Glint Plus, but if I get Dispelled, where does the other haste come from? Well, Mog has his Awaken 1. That has it, but generally he saves that for phase 2. Or his USB, whichever you prefer to use. But we do have this. Her Awaken 2, I believe. I think this is Awaken 2. I mean, I do have the Synchro as well, but this one doesn't give haste. This looks like her Awaken 2. So I'll just put it like this, and then people can check for themselves which one it is and which one they need. I would say it's not critical that you have this. You could probably do without it, or you could do it with, say, one of her other abilities, but you'd have to drop, say, the Crushing Tango or Holiger, one of the two. And I think just... yeah, you could probably... I don't know what to do about this. You could have... I think, yeah, we'll swap that back. Make sure that we've got plenty of heals. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's really it. So what we're going to do is I think we're going to try and time one of Lena's, either her glint or her awakening, for the dispel. And this is probably going to screw things up a little bit in terms of timing, so we're going to have to play it by ear. And as you can see from my time, it's close. Probably would help if I had the AI up. But at least I've got wait mode to think things out. Okay, well, Bart has instant cast from his hero ability, so let's get straight in with a Mega Drive. Mog will start off with Chain. Cryle, she's here just to do DPS for now, so let's get going. Go-Go can do the same. And Lena... yeah, we just do the Glint Plus. The problem with her Awakening is it does not do any healing. So this is where I think we need to be careful. Bart can probably... yeah, we could do the Dyad now. Lena can do Historian. She's really the only one who can do it. Now I'm just wondering, what did I do here with Mog? Let me just bring up the AI again. I think I did do this slightly differently. So we've just had turn 2. Turn 3 hits slots 1 and 5. Turn 4 hits slots 2, 3 and 4 twice. Then you've got Lightning Bolt on turn 5, which is 50% max HP on slots 2, 3, 4 and 5. Then Anti-Heal, then Full Break, and then you've got Black Hole, which is the 60% max HP and Dispel. I'm thinking that might be where I use the Glint Plus. If you can hold on until then it would be best to use the Glint Plus then, so that you can tank that damage, because that is up. And then on turn 9 you've got another 60% max HP. So you really do need to... yeah, you can just about survive that. So let Bart's do DPS. Yeah, this is where it's probably going to be a bit of a problem. Oh yeah, the next turn's okay, actually. The next turn isn't going to hit slots 2 minutes. I think we need to keep it going with hero ability. That's going to give the most HP. Okay, so there's the chase. So it might be that we do rely on chases here, we'll have to see. Go-Go. I think you do actually do DPS. Yeah, you do your Soul Break. Okay, so Mog does not survive. Right. How on earth did I do this? What are you talking? What are you talking? You've been a good boy. Yeah. It might well be that I use the Glint Plus early. And I rely on... what I do is I time Mog's heals to land at the right time. So we'll start off again. And I think it's good to show you mistakes I make, or at least my thought process. That's like, okay, that didn't work, let's go back and try again. It's clear that we need that Glint Plus earlier in the fight. What you could always do is... yeah, could do that. Yeah, I really don't think Holyja is necessary. Because I don't think many people will be using their healer for damage. So we'll take that off. I think that's one alternative, is you could go with the team that I'm showing now, but use Mog's Glint Plus early. But I don't think... I think most people will have a problem with Final Fantasy V and other ones that do Dispel because they need to do haste. But the problem is if you do haste on your healer, let's assume you use your healer to do haste to get your team back up to full speed again. The problem is that typically your healer is not going to heal on that turn. So you're going to, let's say that you are at 100% health, you get slowed, or well, not slowed, dispelled, you cast haste, you get haste, great, but you're still at 40% HP. And then the next turn you get another 60% max HP, which is 120%, ergo you're dead. So I think most people will not be doing it like that. Have I changed? Yeah, that's all correct. Okay, we'll try again. And I think, you know, Holyja, it's only going to do 5 hits, which it's not going to break the damage cap. She's not N-Holy, so she's not going to be doing much in the way of breaking the damage cap. Arya is different in that she had M-Water and she has an ability that or a chase command that allows her to do 100,000 damage, but typically most don't. Mog was the only one to go down because he doesn't have realm synergy, and he does get hit quite a lot in that slot. Oh yeah, I was going to do Dire, but never mind. I mean, what we can do is not use the Dyad. You could slot it in, it's not going to make too much of a difference. So let's try saving the glint. So the next turn is not going to hit Mog, so he's okay. Now would be a good time to do... yeah, I could do the Dyad now. Yeah, he might as well do the Dyad. In Final Fantasy 4 tutorial, I showed how you don't need the Dyad to do anything. Let's do the Passionate Seltzer. Let's try and lower his damage. It's not going to do a lot, but... Cryol's not going to do anything, any big damage limit in phase 1, so she can just carry on. Bartz has now done his Soul Break, so he can push on. Now we're waiting for Go-Go. Okay, now they die. Okay, so clearly we either need a chase heal from Mog, or we need to do more healing with his hero ability, and that's where Passionate Seltzer isn't fantastic. You need to use it at the right time. Try again. And I'm not under any pressure to actually beat this. I mean, what you could do is have Kryl do Chain and let Mog heal up, but there's not really anything to do on the first couple of turns. So normally the slot 1 will not have instant cast, and Mog will have nothing to do. But that's something that you could do if it's like, well, I've got all these Soul Break points in slot 1. And Mog is struggling, then that's where it's like, okay, well, if slot 1 can do an instant cast on their first turn, let them do the chain and let Mog get Passionate Seltzer off. That way, you improve Passionate Seltzer a tiny little bit, and you build up Soul Break points so you have less to worry about later on. Did I miss something? I missed something went wrong though. I must have got distracted. Didn't see what went wrong there. I thought something was wrong. Maybe I did History of Crystal too early or something like that. I did it on the wrong turn. A little bit distracted. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I didn't do. I think perhaps I did Historia Crystal on phase 1 in turn 1 instead of Pro Shell Haze. So that's why I did a lot more damage. So now we'll do. So Passionate Seltzer I think does anywhere from 500 HP healing, whereas Heroic Harmony does maybe like 3 times that. Passionate Seltzer does go up to 1000 plus any healing benefits, but that's 1700. So, and then we got the chase. So I would say if people are going to say, well, you're relying on chase heals to win, it's like, yeah, but we're talking 5 seconds into the fight. It's not like you get to the end of the fight and then you have to rely on heals. Once you get past this opening turn, you should be okay. And then Len does her heals because we want to cover. You know what? Let's not do the dyad. Let's leave out the dyad again, just in case people don't have a dyad. I think it's exceptional to have 3 break damage limits on one character, so we're going to keep doing Heroic Harmony because we want that healing on everyone else. But keep in mind that the only reason why we're probably going to survive the next turn is because we have that chase healing. But I think it's something like a 25% chance of it happening, so it's not like it's impossible. If it was like 1%, then I could understand. Yeah, and I knew the next turn was going to hit Go. I think this one does the Mimic 2 times. And what was the last turn that I did? I think it was either Mog or Cryle, which is not fantastic. Okay, so this is where we need to be careful here. So we've had Lightning Bolt. Then the next turn is Anti-Heal. Well, that's not going to hurt us. Then we've got Full Break. Well, that's Mog's department, so he'll be fine there. Then we've got Black Hole. So I'm pretty sure Lena has got time to get off a turn. Now, what is she going to do? I don't think she's going to get enough Soul Break points to get off her USB and Awakening. So let's do a heal. I think the Crushing Tango is not going to do a lot of good at this point, but you can do damage. And then I think Go-Go can now do his Awaken. And we'll, oh no, yeah, that's fine. And then Mog can do. No, I'm thinking now might, even though Full Break is in effect, I think it might be better to do the Stone Skin. And then Cryle can just do DPS. I think Bart's... Oh no, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Bart's when... And then Go-Go will mimic Bart's. That's ideally what we want. And then... Now we can do this. And that will give more damage reduction barrier. I mean, I don't know, maybe you could get away with not doing Awaken in... He's Awaken 2 in phase 1. You could just ignore it. Yeah, so that's not too bad DPS-wise. It's free DPS at the end of the day. And unfortunately, Elena is not full ATB. But now we can cast... Yeah, so if we do this... So there's a little bit of slow involved there. A little bit of... Well, not slow. A little bit of dispel. But now we can push on. And bear in mind, we have got Bart with... Okay, so that doesn't work either. And you see, this is where we have the problem now. It's how to haste, but also heal. And that was the Inferno. How did I go about this? Maybe I can't remember how I tackled this. I don't know if what I did was, I think maybe I did the Awaken first, and then that gave me the heals early on. Maybe I did it that way. And I didn't have the Dyad before, so I'm pretty sure I don't need that. What I could do is, because Bart doesn't do any of his soul breaks early on, he can do the Historia Crystal. It's not, he will be fine. And then Lena can do, let's do a 6-star ability. Let's do Passionate Salsa. I should be okay on healing now. Okay, so we've got the Chase healed, which is nice. I think once you get past the 2 max HP moves, it's fine after that. Maybe that's what I did here. I think maybe I did, because now I know I'm going to do 2 soul breaks early on in phase 1 on the healer. I can afford to do this now. So yeah, let's do it now. I think this is the way I did it. And then everyone gets quick cast. So yes, there's a slight drop in DPS, but not that much. So okay, so we've had Claw Swipe, so the next turn is Lightning Bolt, but I'm pretty sure we've got time for Mog to do a heal. And one Awaken should be enough to get through phase 1. Okay, and now we'll just keep healing with Lena. This is probably why I gave her Holyja, but I think really as long as Mog, it's more important Mog gets healed. Okay, so we probably want Go to go next. And then Mog needs to... I think I did the Awaken... Yeah, I did... Yeah, I think this is the way I did it. I did the Awaken 2 first. And then I did the Stone Skin. I think the Stone Skin was more to protect me from the second pitch break attack, not the first one. Cryo just keeps doing DPS. Oh! Cryo got in there first. I don't think it matters. It probably actually is better that he copies... yeah, I think he does more DPS through magic anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so the next turn is going to be... oh, it's going to be the Dispel move, isn't it? Well, let's do this. Since that's instant cast. And then we can... Stone Skin. Yeah, that's a slight problem. Maybe Lena can't. Maybe she should have done her heal earlier. Yeah, let's try that. I want to try that. I want to make sure I see if I can get this right. I might as well do it now and show people, because I'm pretty sure Lena's USB has Quick Cast 2 on it. Well, I think she only had 1 quick cast done at that point, so it would be better if she did her USB earlier, get 2 quick casts in, and then she can get the... Or I think what... Yeah, we'll try this first. And then I think the alternative is, if this doesn't work, she goes with Holyja. know what? No, I'm gonna. Sorry if I keep chopping and changing on this. I keep thinking of better ways of doing it. I don't think Crushing Tango is doing all that much. I think what would be better is to go with Holiger and Curada. You use Curada on that one turn just to make sure that Mog survives. Otherwise, you do Holiger, and then you will get the soul rate points. I think that's more important because with Mog, Awaken 1, Awaken 2, and then you've got the other characters as well. I really don't think you've got much to worry about. So we'll do it like this. I think this is going to be the safer option. So I want to try and not make it RNG-less. I think that's pretty much impossible. But I think at least try and make it so that you don't have to rely on, you know, chase heals, for example, to win. So for those that just starting for this part of the tutorial, which, you know, hopefully I'll trim everything else out. We've got the healer in slot 3. She's safe. She typically will do her Pro Shell haste, build up, but in this case we'll come up with something special for her during phase 1 because of the Dispel. Mog is always in slot 5 typically. He will do Awaken 2 after the first full break. He typically does his Glint Plus on the second turn, but we're going to save that until partway through phase 1, as we'll soon see why. And then the other 3 will typically do DPS. Slot 1 generally just pushes to phase 2. Slot 2 typically does 1 break damage limit in phase 1 and 1 in phase 2. And then slot 4 typically will just save both break damage limits until phase 2. And we've got a Mega Drive here just because Bart has his hero equipment. Mog will do the chain. And everyone just does their duties. Bart does have his Dyad, but I'm not convinced we need it. And I think what would help, because Bart isn't doing anything until phase 2, he can do the Historia Crystal. Normally I would get the healer to do that, but because we need her to do a lot of work early on, Bart can do it. And we will heal now, might as well, heal everyone up, and give everyone quick cast 2. We can do Passionate Salsa since everyone's fairly good on HP, and if we can just weaken the boss a little bit, every little bit helps. Now everyone should be okay on healing. We can now do Holiger. Anything just to help get that Awaken off at the right time. And we can do Heroic Harmony now. Anything just to make sure we've got max HP. And I don't think that chase heal was that important. Everyone was fairly max HP anyway. Let's do another Holiger. Okay. Well, if anything, he'll copy Holiger instead. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Yeah, and I think that the Awaken needs to go off immediately. As soon as the full break goes off, you need that because Mog needs to get his ATB full so he can do the glint again. Yeah, I don't think that matters too much. It builds up the chain, if anything. I really would not worry. Go-Go is going to go bonkers later. That's what we really want. Okay, so now we've got our full bar, which is good. That's what we want. And then Mog can. Yeah, we'll do the Glint Plus. I think we'll do the Glint Plus now, and that will protect us against the first one. And then we can go in with the Awaken. And now all we've got to do is survive the next turn. But I think everyone has over 60%, and even Mog has Stone Skin. So let's just go on with the damage. I think that's the way we tackle it. Mog, Go-Go loses a little bit of DPS. He kind of wastes his Mimic, but I would imagine most people don't have that anyway. So you're not really losing that much. And then Mog can get a quick heal off. Because everyone's got over 60% HP, we'll save this. And then she can start doing this. Let's just make sure. Yep. So we get that off. There we go. We should be fine from that one. I think the only thing that's going to hamper us is the lack of DPS. I've probably got way too much DPS. I think maybe Bart could probably have done some DPS. So let's do this. Let's get the Historia Crystal out of the way. It's more damage. Mog he needs soul break points, so let's get that going. Might as well do a Passionate Salter. And we're getting a little bit slow here on time, so let's just try and. Oh, we just made it. Just about. So 15 seconds. That's decent. Okay, so Go-Go really needs to get the DPS going. He's already slow, so let's. We're probably gonna lose a bar here, so let's do this, and then if we have time, we can do the USB. Mog. Oh yeah, we need the chain, don't we? Let's him. He can do the chain. I don't know if this is going to be sub 30. This might be a little bit under, but I think because I've got Go-Go and instant cast Cryle and I've got Bart's been bonkers, maybe it would be better if Bart's had done one of his turns early. This is where you need to be flexible and go, okay, I've got all this DPS, is it worth having everyone wait? But it's important now Go-Go gets his turn off ASAP because he's going to get memory wiped any moment. So let's get this off as soon as possible. And Cryle could do her turn now, so yeah, she's going to lose it on the next couple of turns, so she might as well do this, and I think it gives her a chase as well. So yeah, let's do it. I'm not sure what Bart is going to do now. Oh, he's already done his synchro. Okay, so he could potentially wait then. Whoops. No, I accidentally pressed that. as well do that. Yeah, well, we'll keep... Because I think around about in 2 seconds the wall's going to wear off, so we might as well have Bart's wait. I mean, he could always squeeze in his Dyad. There we go. So, what is Final Fantasy 5? 5 is stunned, so we really want to get this below 3. And I think we'll do Total Mastery, since that's basically the same. And then we can pop that off. And that avoids the stun. I might as well save that USB for later. And now I think it's just DPS. The wall's worn off now, so now we really need to push. And good, she got the turn off as quickly as possible. So she gets that extra soul bait point. Really, I think in the next couple of seconds I need to be at 40%, so... Yeah, and now Mimic. This is where... why are you doing Cleansing? What? You should be doing Bart's ability. That is weird, I don't know why you copied that. But I think you get more soulbait points for doing hero abilities over your Synchro abilities, because they only count as 1 star. So if I can build Go-Go up, he could do his Awaken 2, and that will be even more DPS. But look, just look how bonkers it gets now. I mean, I could probably switch to Chain Piragor now. Okay. Yeah, we'll do hero ability and then Mob. No! Oh, no. Yeah, that's where we got screwed. We got screwed. We were like a fraction of a second. And also 26 seconds, that's far too slow. If you want sub 30, that's not going to be fast enough. And yeah, all the DPS just drops like a tank now. I don't know why Go-Go's copying Cleansing. That's not a... Yeah, it probably would have been better to have got this off. You've got quick cast. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That really is unfortunate. Yeah, it's been a while since I did this sub 30. Trying to think how I could go faster. I mean, Kryl. Let's quit out, and I'll see what. Because I think it might be that Kryl is instant cast, but if she's only doing 4 hits as opposed to 5, then you are losing a little bit of DPS and only saving a little bit of time. But you see the general approach now. This is kind of where I'm aiming. Yeah, instantly deal 4, and yet this is fine. But I'm curious about this. This is more it's meant to cause other water abilities to trigger Aqua Mimicry. So So I don't understand why. Maybe the Historia Crystal had an impact. I don't know. I mean, I do have the Dyad, but I just don't think I necessarily need to use it. But I think I've shown at least how I tackle the I think that's... Oh dear, is someone getting a little upset? What's wrong? What's wrong? You want to sit in your chair? Oh, I think you might be a bit hungry, but I think a certain someone has come back. Yep, someone's come back, so he can have some milk. Yeah? Do you want some milk? Mummy's home. Okay. Just trying to see if there's anything else I can do to improve this. I think what would probably be best in this situation is, because Kral can do instant cast on her turn, she's already good to go in terms of doing. She can do 2 soul break points, but 2 soul breaks. Gogo can do the 3rd, Lena 4th, Bart's 5th, and Mog 6th, which means Bart can do his synchro early. So I think we'll try that next. That's probably the better way. I'm saving too much DPS. Just ever so slow. And I've changed Bart's LMR. Because really I want more consistent DPS. The chance of him doing a multiple soul break turns is unlikely. So we'll go for higher DPS. Okay. So once again, let's start from the beginning. Healer in slot 1 will generally do her Glint Plus and Magicite or Historia Crystal, but in this case Bart's is going to do that. Mog will do Chain and then just heal. But you know what? Let's just go turn by turn. So Bart's will do the Mega Drive, Mog Chain, Cryo DPS, Gogo DPS, and Lena Flip. Okay, yeah, pretty much let's just keep going. I think Bart's really, he can just about do the DPS. So Trial DPS. Learn to heal. Normally she would do the Historia, but we want the quick heal and the quick cast to help everyone. More Compassionate Salsa to weaken the boss. And what Bart can do to make up for the lack of DPS of the previous turn is he can do a Mega Drive. I don't think he needs to do it, but it could be that now that we do the heal a turn early, we don't use the Gerardo, in which case we can put Crushing Tango back on. So we're saving the Mog Stone Skin. Okay, we will keep. So now Bart can do, yeah, he's got more than enough DPS now. So we can go straight in with the Synchro, Cryle DPS. Holyja. Awaken, and now we wait for full break. There we go. Have that cast immediately. He hasn't got any time to waste. He needs to get Stone Skin up before the next turn. So this is not perfect. You could wait until Cryle has done her turn if you wanted to. Just delay Gogo's turn a bit until Cryle can catch up. So you could easily fix that if you wanted to. Stone Skin up. Then we do Awaken to get the haste back up. And what's brilliant about her, her Awaken 2, I believe, or at least her Awaken, one of her Awakens, the one with haste, is its instant cast. So she can, I don't have to time the haste gun to go off at just the right time. And look, clearly I don't need Crushing Tango. I really don't need Crushing Tango. I am killing already. So again, this is something that I'm learning for myself. It's like, come to think of it, no, I don't need Crushing Tango. Probably the next turn is going to be enough, but let's get Mog building spell break points up as quickly as possible. But we're certainly going quicker. We're only at 13 seconds, so the next turn should be. Yeah, the next turn will do it. So we can have well, yeah, let's do the chain now. And then Cryle. Okay, never mind. See, that's the problem with wait mode. It will let time flee by, and also I think I went so quick that the Go-Go doesn't have enough soul breakers now. So this is the problem of going too fast. No, I haven't even done the historic crystal. There's only just one off now. Bart's might as well do this because he's got time to kill. So let's get this countered. Mog, you can wait, I think. Your soul break can wait. I can have him cast his one soul break once all of these. Oh, someone's got chocolates. Yeah, I'll probably finish the stream after I've done this. I might as well heal. Then let's do the Awaken first. And then we can Awaken, yeah. Well, I've got 3 here, so let's get this off. And then I can clear all the souls. We've got 1. Trial will do 2. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Someone needs to... Oh my goodness. How can you have that much mess from chocolate? Clearly there is. And I think he might be a bit hungry. Yeah. Let's build up the chain. Oh, yeah, unfortunately that's screwed it up a little bit now. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, this is where I think something's gone wrong. Things have... I think Kryl didn't get her USB off, so that affected things. And this is the problem with going too fast. And now I think everyone's going to get stuck. Just... yeah, that's bad. So that's what happens when you go too fast. You don't have the soul break points to do anything. And I can keep this whole video up in case people want to see kind of like all the mistakes that I make. But I'll probably edit out the winning run so that people can see. And maybe Kryl could do Historia instead. So let's start again. Mog does 1, Bart does 2, Lena does 3, Go-Go 4, Kryl does at 5, so she really needs to... No, if anything, Kryl needs to save us. She needs as much soul break points as possible. I think it was simply, what I did was right. It was just unfortunate that I did so much DPS in terms of like double and triple casts. But I went too fast. I really needed to get hit by one more turn. Passion Salsa here, since we're I would say if we're at low health or relatively low health, like 50% or so, do his hero ability. But if you're relatively good HP, do Passion Salsa. Yeah, we'll do Omega Drive because before on the last run we did so much damage that it wasn't an issue. And yeah, let's stick with Holy Jump. We want to build up that soul breaker as quickly as possible so that she can do Holy. Now we can do hero ability. Just because we've done Passion Salsa, so we might as well do hero ability to build up the magic of Kryl and Go-Go. We'll have Go-Go wait because he's so close. wait on. Let's just wait a little bit longer. There we go. So we can get that off. And then Kryl can hopefully do her DPS before... no, Lena goes first, then Kryl, then Go-Go. We'll break immediately. We wait for it to, the actual animation. So we can get that plus up as quickly as possible on the next turn. And then, now if we get this turn off, then Go-Go will copy that. I think Lena waits now, doesn't she? Stone Skin. I mean, Mog could heal, I think, at this point, but let's just get that out. And then instant cast the Awakening to get Pro Shell haste back up again, although I think Protect and Shell are pretty necessary at this point. And I think if anyone wants to finish off phase 1, it will be Kryl. She needs DPS a little bit more than Go-Go. Maybe I could swap those two around, but I think no, Go-Go needs the hits to do Awakening, but he doesn't need too many. So this is good as it is. We want slot 2 to get the DPS early. I think it was just a slight case of too much DPS in that last run. This seems to be going fine. Go-Go, yeah, Go-Go is, again, he needs to get this damage as much as possible. I think, again, we're still going a tiny bit too fast. But at least Kryl goes on first. So she gets the DPS. And I think Bart, you might as well get the chain going now. He's still got quick cast. Let's do Historia while the chain's high. Might as well get that DPS. Let's get soul wake points up. We don't need the healing, so and we've got the chase still anyway. Yeah, I think if anything we don't need Kurada anymore. And now we can do Let's do the Awakening first, because if we get the second one off in time, then it's instant cast. Whereas if we get it wrong, we'll have an instant cast USB and nothing else to show for it. I mean, now would be a good time maybe for Bart to do his Dyad, but let's leave it. Let's try and do it without. Maybe Kryl could have done her USB. Oh, never mind. I was thinking Lena could have done her USB, but she can't. Not yet. Okay, let's see if we can get this off in time. Fingers crossed. Yes, we can. Okay, so yeah, let's do this, and hopefully Go-Go's turn will come after the next turn. If it doesn't, yeah, perfect. That is perfect. and then Go gets his turn off before the memory bomb. That was just lucky, so let's just roll. And then he's going to get memory bite, but he hasn't got any points to waste, so yeah, this is perfect. And I hope people aren't put off by how lucky this is. Oh, why are you doing that? I don't quite understand Go-Go. I thought he was supposed to mimic the last water, not the... But never mind. Maybe he can't copy synchro commands. Do that. So now we just race. Now it's just a race now. Although we don't want to race too much because Mog needs to get 2 soul break points, but not take too long because then... Oh! Wait, what? How did I... Okay, I don't quite understand how I did that. I'll have to review this run. I must have had... I think possibly it's because Lena doesn't do her... she doesn't do a soul break in turn in phase 3. Now she does, but now it's too late. So we might as well cast it now. Oh, is he looking at his own face? Yeah, I think that's where I'm going slightly wrong in this run, is that because Lena does 2 soul breaks in phase 1, she doesn't do any in phase 2, which means Ryle needs to make up the DPS. Why do you keep doing that? I don't know why you keep copying that, but still, we're okay. We're okay. Unfortunately, I think Ryle goes first. She'll go first. But she wouldn't be breaking 20k anyway, so... I'm not sure if we're gonna do sub-30 this. Again, I've got Bart's Dyad, so he could easily have spotted that in some way. You're not doing... Yeah, unfortunately you're not doing... yeah, unfortunately now no one's doing 20k. Maybe I don't need to. I don't feel that this is being a successful run for people to follow. I was hoping it would be a bit straighter. I think the chain's going to go off too early. Cast the chain too early. Let's see if we can get this off in time. Unfortunately, you're gonna copy that, which is dumb. How on earth did I do this? Yeah, and this is where we now suffer from no chain. How did I do this? I mean, like, Bart's has tons of soul break points now, but now it's kind of pointless. Yeah. Okay. We'll try again. I think it's because I made the mistake of neither Go-Go or Bartz could do 20k in phase 2. One of them has got to save their points. And I would imagine it's got to be Go-Go. Go-Go's got to save his points. So again, we'll go through all the opening turns. So, if Bartz is going to save his soul break points for later, then he can do this story of stuff. Lena can't really afford to do it. She's got to cast 2 soul breaks in phase 1. Nope, wrong one. Okay. Let's quit. And I'm going to be putting all of these runs on my YouTube and Twitch channel. It could be that this is, I think, generally I found these ones with Dispel to be the harder ones to do. Either they're more tanky or just the fact that your healer needs to... You need to do extra in phase 1 to counter the Dispel. I mean, you could potentially remove Changer. I don't think that would matter all that much. I really don't think we need Curada. So what you could always do here is put on Heiska. You could do that. But I don't think so. I think you need instant cast. And I think when when you start doing DPS, you're probably not going to need Crushing Tango. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. Yeah, change. No, there. That's what I want. And as for this Dyad, I mean, I suppose if you've got it, you could use it. That wouldn't be a problem. Same goes for the Dual Awakening, but I'll just assume that people can't do it. So I'll put the ASB back on. And I think, again, the chain needs to be cast at just the right time. If you cast it too early, it will run out. So Omega Drive, because Bartz has his hero equipment set. Chain, damage. Yep. Omega Drive, nope. No, we can do Historia Crystal. Bartz can afford to damage and we USB here, we might as well. Heal everyone up, and we also get Quick Cast, which will help Bartz. Passionate Salsa since everyone's HP is high. And it weakens the boss a little bit. Damage. Mega Drive. Damage. Damage. And now we've already done Passionate Salsa, we can do Heroic Harmony to start getting the magic stuff up. Chase heal doesn't really matter that much. I don't know, maybe Go-Go should do his turn now, and then he'll have more soul weak points for later. Yeah, let's just do it. Same goes for Kryl, she's just doing DPS anyway. Bart is going to keep pushing. Go, he's almost... Okay. So Go-Go's not too far behind, and it means we'll go slow in phase 1, which is kind of what we want, although now I haven't got Bart's. Here's Soul Break. Oh, good. Go-Go's going to go first, that's great. And that means he'll copy Kryl, so down there. No cleansing, sorry. And then we can Stone Skin. Lena's waiting to do her Awakening. Almost clicked the wrong one. Yeah, see, Bart's really doesn't need to do... he probably could do that at Mega Drive. Let's just keep going with Holy. I don't think we need the Wave Command. And let's keep going with Kryl. Get her soul break points up. I don't think she needs to use her USP. It's just, the only reason why she's using it and say Bomb is because hers is instant cast as well, so... Yes, it helps. And I think this is where Go-Go, he will need to... Yeah, he needs to do DPS. What to do here? I think if we do... Chain now? Bart's really wants to save his damage, and he needs to do soul breaks. I think I'll have Bart's way. Yeah, see, Lena could do this now, and then she can do that later. So yeah, let's do that now. This is where we need to kind of think about what we want to try and achieve. Because Bart now has 2 soul breaks that he can use, he doesn't have to worry. I don't have to worry about Kryl, so I might as well use it. So now Bart can do his Sync and Awakening. I was a little bit slow with this. I think maybe the fact that now Bart and later Go-Go can do So everyone's doing 1 soul break, which is 5 soul breaks, and then bots doing 2. Mog can wait. I was hoping for a little bit more DPS from Trial, but she'll get hit on the next turn. There we go, and then she can get her soul break off before the memory bite. So we need to clear 2 soul breaks, and that's Trial and Bart. And then Go-Go, I'm just going to ignore his durability. Sorry, his specific command. Let's just go straight for the... And then, yeah, let's go straight for the hero ability, and then that should go for soul break points. And now Mog needs to wait. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I could just do this. Oh, of course, I lose that, don't I? Forgot about that. Yeah, so I'm still confused as to how I managed to still lose. I should be on 1. So someone must have done 1 less. Oh, look at this. Again, it's because Lena doesn't do 1. That's why. She's not doing it, so I need to have Trial and Bart. So again, that's my mistake. Again, I made a mistake. Trial and Bart should save their soul breaks for phase 2. Hopefully it won't cost me too much. I mean, Go-Go and Bart are they're fairly low on ATB, so they didn't lose too much. But I think if things had been different, I don't know what I would have done really. I mean, Cryo could have done her hero ability to build more soul break points. Or maybe I should have just waited on the Story Crystal, let Lena do it. She could have done it on the next turn. So yeah, I think that's probably what I would have done. I would have had Mog prioritise doing abilities or chain. And then everyone else do their DPS except Lena, who would probably do the Story Crystal or chain. One of the 2. This is where it's going to get a bit tight. I should be okay. And unfortunately Lena's gonna... Cryle's gonna miss out. So we're a little bit slow here. But I've got both Bart and Go-Go now doing... no, Bart's will do 20k. Go-Go. And we might as well do USB. Heal everyone up and give everyone quick cuts. So I think this is difficult. Yeah, unfortunately the his has worn off. He's still doing a lot of DPS. Really? Not 1? There we go. Goodness, how am I finding this so difficult? I I think probably at this point I would just do the chain man. Yeah, she can just do the chain. Might as well instant cast the Awakening. I'm gonna have to see if I can try and find the mastery of what when I sub-30 this, but I don't know how I'm supposed to do this now. Like, I have done this. One more solution. There's one more solution I can think of to this. And if I think I'll probably try it, and then that will be the end of the stream. I'll just get ready to have dinner and other things to do. The DPS is just gone. The chain started. And this is probably where Crushing Tango would be helpful. So I think now we've gone full circle, I now know probably why I had Crushing Tango on, just to get that extra tiny little bit of where's the crit chance? Are you gonna crit chance? I think that's probably going to be it for the next Mega Flare. And that's why I prefer to remove the King's Rage if it's all possible. There we go. And I think that's why it should be the other way around. Go-Go should be in slot 4. He needs to wait on the DPS because he can crit more likely than Bart's. Bart's I don't care so much for. And yeah, this is my favourite team. So I was wondering, like, Go-Go, Bart's, normally the one with the most DPS probably goes in slot 2. I thought, well, with Bart's with his diet, he'd be even better, but then I decided to take the diet out, and that's why it all went wrong. Right, so to recap, this is what my plan is for those joining for the so-called winning run. Kryl, normally I would have everyone do 1 soul break, and then someone does a second one, so that would be 6 soul breaks, and that would clear the minimum number of souls to get through phase 2. The problem is that Lena, she kind of needs to be able to heal Mog and the team, well, I suppose the whole of the team in a way, but she also needs to do her Awakening 2, I believe, because this gives haste. Final Fantasy V is one of those Bahamut's that does Dispel. Go-Go, I've got him in slot 4 because although he's got a lot of DPS, it's best he saves it for phase 3. Well, rephrase that. He is going to cast both of these in phase 2, and then he'll still be able to do 20k in phase 3. But he can afford to spread his damage out and do 1 in phase 1, 1 in phase 2. And Kryl, she can, ideally, if she can do both of these, great. But as we saw in the last run, we've got to assume that normally everyone would do 1 Soul Break each, but Lena can't. She needs to do 2 in phase 1. So really, Kryl needs to save both of these for phase 2. Gogo needs to save both of these for phase 2. This is just the backup. Really, you shouldn't need it. And then Bart does 1 in phase 1 and 1 in phase 2. So we'll try that. And I think now I know what to do in terms of getting past phase 1's dispel. We've put Crushing Tango back on the team because I think that is helpful. I don't think it's critical, but as people have probably seen from my previous runs, when you're at the end of phase 2 and you want to sort of push into phase 3, you might as well just pop it off for 1 turn. So this time Bart needs to build up his soul break as quickly as possible. So we need him to do all this DPS. Now I'm just thinking what to do about Gogo now. I don't think Gogo needs to do anything that early. So actually let him do his hero ability first, and then he can do the Story Crystal, because the Story Crystal can break the rage from the first turn. Every little bit counts. You can do it on the first turn if you want to, it's not going to make much of a difference. We can assume that at some point Gogo is going to get his hero equipment, and that might well have instant cast on the first turn, so let's just assume that to be the case. Mog can do Passion Salsa to weaken the boss. Now we can do the Story Crystal. And I would say, again, Final Fantasy V is the exception to the rule with the Dragonking. It's because of that Dispel we need to commit more turns. So, yep, here we go. We've already got just enough soul break points for Bart to do everything he needs to do, but he had to rely on 2 Omega Drives and correct. You can afford to do 1 more turn. So, since we've done Passion Assault to weaken the boss, we might as well go straight in with Harmony. Gogo's just going to keep doing DPS, and also it helps to imperil the boss for Bart. So it works out really. I believe... Oh yeah, we've still got to do Hoja. And now Bart's going to just do DPS. Bart does pretty well early on. I think with the imperils that Gogo is giving, he's hitting the damage cap just fine. Phase 1 is phase 3 where he's struggling. Full break to count, well, full break count. Sword of Dispel. Should be any moment now. Let's do Blink Plus. I think Mog should be okay here, but I think it's more for the next turn. So see, I think the problem is that now you've got to get everyone. You've got to imagine everyone's probably going to be on really low health at this point. So that's why, if you don't do Stone Skin on that turn, you need to do it on the turn after that. Yeah, we've almost done it, and it's even faster. So, I think because Lena is probably one of the least useful characters, we'll do the chain now, and then Cryle can get in an extra. And then by the time Lena gets the chainer, we should be okay. I hope I haven't cast it too early. Now Go-Go can cast one of his turns. Normally he would wait, but might as well get 2 turns off. Yeah, with the cleansing, it doesn't really matter. So let Bart can get his turn off now. Very good. But I'll take it. Mog can wait on his turn. He doesn't need his casting. He can cast his Awakening a little bit later. Because he's an instant caster, he can slot it in more easily, whereas the others, they kind of need to get theirs out of the way before the memory bite things. Like here, for example. So, yeah, let's get this again. I think let's get the Awakening out of the way first, because with like some chance Cryle doesn't get her USB off in time, at least we've got the Awakening. And now Lena can do Story Crystal. She's the least useful now. You know, as long as she keeps everyone roughly alive, that's all we care about. Now we can Rhapsody. And then hopefully Cryle will get her USB off after the next turn, but before the memory bite. And the memory bite is instant cast, so we just have to hope that the game will give us. Okay, so we might as well do Crushing Tango now. There we go, we should be able to get that instant cast in. Perfect. And I think that's why I that's why I did it the other way, because I don't think even if Cryle had got her USB off and she had full ATB, I think she would have struggled to have gotten that ASB off, no, her Awakening off in time. And now, now Go-Go get his sync on. I think that's why I have got to go do the final DPS, because I don't have to. He's buffed so much. Bart's just the crazy damage. Yeah, just look at that crazy damage. Absolutely insane damage. And now Lena can just again, that's why we have Lena in the middle slot. She isn't really doing that. As long as she keeps the team alive, that's all that matters. Bart might as well just keep doing his hero ability. I don't think it matters whether you do his hero ability or sync. It's 6 hits versus 5, so I guess the sync command is better, but just look at that. Look how bonkers he is. He's insane. And then Go-Go can finish. I don't know whether that gives instant cast or anything. But let's just do damage. And he's a mage, and yet he can do that kind of physical damage. Yeah, so this is why I have Go-Go go later. And then we've got just enough for the full break. And I think this is the winning round. 22 seconds. Yeah, we're good. It's sometimes also good to go with hero ability over sync, because then if the sync wears off, then you don't press attack by accident. I mean, that's not great damage from Go-Go, but come on, for a mage who's not specialised in physical attacks, really darn good. Yeah, just look at that damage. I should be able to do this now. I think we're down to what, three King's Rages left. And I'm just mixing now between multi-hero ability and Passionate Salter. Would be nice if Cryo could do magic water instead of physical, but sorry, instead of magic fire, but yeah, still, this is not too bad. Might as well heal. And there we go. Nice. Although, is Cryo going to get her turn in? See, this is the problem with casting the chain ever so slightly early. Let's see if we can get that last turn in, shall we? Although we're losing precious time now, because every time there's an animation. Do we get a triple? No. That should be enough. There we go. And I think I beat my time by, what, 2 seconds? We finally did it. So that, I know that's probably very specific, the way I went about that. You know, but I think if you had 2 break damage limits for a mage, so you've got Kryl, X-Def, Go-Go, you could do exactly what I did. I don't think Go-Go's mastery sync was too critical. I think if you had something else that did DPS instead, it would be fine. And yeah, I managed to do it without even Barty's ASB. I did it with just 2 break damage limits. And again, you can kind of see the pattern here. Slot 1, I think in this case, yes, 2 was important. But not ordinarily, yes, you would just wait until phase 2, do the awakening, and then off you go. If you can do an ASB at the end, good. Or if you can do a dyad, good, but as long as you've got 1 break damage limit, that's important. Kryl, the only reason why she's got her USB is because it's instant cast, and it's just an extra way of clearing the souls in phase 2. But he's in slot 2, so he has 2 great damage limits, and he spreads them out between phase 1 and phase 2. Lena is the healer and goes in slot 3. Generally she has her Pro Shell Haste, and normally she would do 1 heal in phase 1 and then do a soul break in phase 2, thereby relieving everyone else. But because there's the Dispel, she really needs to do this at a minimum, and I think she did this more to help Mog. But I think what you could do is potentially get rid of Crushing Tango, put Curada on, and then on that 1 turn early on you heal Mog. Then you would do the Awakening, and then you could do this later. But I think I tried that earlier. You'd have to check the VOD for that. But I think you're gonna struggle with just Mog doing his dance and a few Awakened dances, and Lena, because crucially this does not heal. This is like Pro Shell Haste with Quick Cast, then you do the heals on subsequent turns. And the first 60% is the Dispel, and then the next turn is also 60%, so you really need to have heals in place. And that's why I think I have Lena's Brave, not only for the Regenga and the Quick Cast, but I can also cast this Instant Cast 3 and Last Stand on the next turn. Go-Go, he waits in slot 4 because he can do both of these before the Memory Bite, and then he can just plow into the enemy in phase 2. And then we got Mog, who does Awaken 2 after the first full break, and in phase 1 and phase 3. He typically does his Awaken 1 in phase 2, but he could also do his USB. Just be aware that it's not instant cast. And then normally he does his Glint Plus after, I think, on his second turn. But in this run, as you saw, I did the Glint Plus just before the Black Hole, which is the 60%. So there was a slight tweak in the strats, but otherwise it worked. And then, as I said with the Final Fantasy IV Historia Crystal, I think obviously 120 is best, but if you're struggling on Rat Tails, then you could go to 118, but I would think more likely you could go to 110. I think that's not too bad, 110. Or you could try 105, 199. And as you'll see with some of these, this goes down from 22 to 21 for 110. So you only lose a tiny little bit by going for 110. Here, you get max at 99. 99. 120, 110. So again, you could maybe get away with, again, 110, 120, 110, 120, 110, again, and this caps out at 99. So most of these cap out at 99, but if you could always push it up to 110. I can't remember the maths, and unfortunately I deleted the web page that had it, but you could see that you get most of your stats from either level 99 or 110. And even if you push just up to then, if you can beat this, or even beat it sub 30, or sub 40 or sub 50, you will get the Rat Tails back in order to invest in the next Dragon King that you decide to do. But I think that's all I have really to say. I could link the pages again, because I do want to give credit to the people that made this possible. I did not come up with these strategies. So I found this to be useful. So again, this has the table, which just kind of like I use it more as a reference guide. One, kind of to give me an idea of how difficult the fight is going to be in terms of doing damage, not necessarily soul breaks, but it also gives me at a glance whether the boss does dispel. It also tells me the status it does in phase 1, but as you saw, we skip that every time. We don't even get to Gravager in phase 1, so I don't really look at that. But yeah, we look at whether it does dispel in phase 1, we look at whether it does stun or bar element in phase 2, and that's pretty much all I look at now. I don't look at any of the other stats. And then we have this individual, which unfortunately they have deleted their account, so I can't credit them. It just says deleted user, so maybe they decided to quit Record Keeper, or maybe like me, they accidentally delete. Well, no, I deleted my account. I forget how. I think it was. Yeah, I think. Yeah. I don't know what I did, but I did something that caused me to delete my account, so I lost all my positive karma, but never mind. So I think, but those links, I think whoever did them, they deserve the credit for at least helping me become more experienced and master the Dragon Kings. And I think Final Fantasy 4 and 5 are at least good representations of what to expect from a Dragon King. I can't really see me doing any of the others. I mean, I am uploading all of my sub-30 attempts in underweight mode so that people can see what I'm doing on each turn, but I think you'll see a common pattern of the same turns over and over again, or the same order of soul breaks again and again. And that's why I've chosen Final Fantasy 4 and 5. I could have done Bartz's Dyad, or Dual Awakening, but I didn't think many people would have those. You know, it might be that you've got, you know, Bartz's Earth Synchro and Awaken, his Fire Awaken, for example. It doesn't matter. You can do one in phase 1 and one in phase 2. I mean, the Wind one is perhaps a little bit different because it's instant cast, but I don't think you have to worry too much. And even if you don't sub-30 it on your first attempt, you can at least beat it, unlock the record tiles, and then try again later. Or you can wait until there's hero equipment for Go-Go, for example. That there's ways around it. You could use Dyads. So yeah, I have got the DPS, but I didn't want to use methods that people wouldn't necessarily have. And I think Go-Go is really good. The fact that he can imperil is fantastic. He assists Bartz as well. I mean, maybe what I could do is I could show a more physical team. Maybe people don't have that many mage-only teams, but I mean, you saw Bartz was able to do just fine. Because Mog, his Awaken 2, and even his USB 1, I believe, those buff physical party members too. So it's not too critical. And let's say your healer was able to do Bard like Sarah in Final Fantasy 1. She could do Ode to Victory instead of Holy Joe. There you go. You can get 50%, up to 50% crit chance right there. But let's have a look at my other Dragon King teams. You can see this one. This one's got 2 physical users, but I've still got Mog. That's a full mage team, full mage team, full mage team, mostly mage team. Yeah, this is mostly mage team. But I think because Mog is on the team with all Final Fantasy 6, his Awakening 2, if we bring that up, I can show you this one. Temporarily increase the damage of all allies' attacks that hit a target. Slight weakness or vulnerable element, a moderate amount. So he more than makes up for it. Final Fantasy 7. So maybe I could do a 7 run. But I think 7 people are probably going to find quite easy. I mean, here I've got 2 break damage limits. And the reason why I've got him in slot 1 is because he's got his Glint Plus, which gives 2 bars. Aerith, she's just got her Glint Plus and USB 2. Yes, I can. I'm finishing up now. This, got 2 break damage limits here, and the reason why he's in slot 4 is because he has instant cast 3, so he could potentially go in slot 1. One of the 2 could go there. He can make up the damage, and he's already got the soul break points. And then we got Cloud with his insane damage. No, I haven't. I mean, you can actually. I can give you permission to link it in case anyone wants to. Forgotten how you do it. A way to do it, and I can't. Yeah, it just gives. I thought there was like a commit. If you link it in, if you whisper me the link, I'll put it in chat. I thought there was I knew a way of. You, but I can't see how. I rarely do it. So yeah, maybe when I come to show this off, when I showcase this, I should say, I think this is personal preference. I'll probably say when I showcase sub-30ing this, you'll again see how Auron works. Why he's in slot 2, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's because of the sheer amount of DPS. So it could be I change this team for when I actually come to do it. Okay, so for anyone interested, there's a link from Kupo J on Dragonking with Yuffie. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7 might be interesting. Then we got a mage team for 8, mage team for 9. Physical team, yeah, this is all physical team for Final Fantasy 10, and yeah, I use more. And I've sub-30 this yesterday, so people can check that out. I think this is an exception in that I've got Pain, and she can do bonkers damage, and I've got Jet, who is non-water. 11, this is mostly physical, but again, Mog's here. Mostly physical, Mog, Mage, Mog, Mage, Mog, all physical, Mog, Tactics, I can afford to bring Auron and Mog, mostly physical, Mog, and this is going to be a mostly magic Mog. So yeah, you can see pretty much there's only really, I think, Final Fantasy 7 and 10 that are purely physical, and I bet you I could probably swap out Auron for Mog. Oh, and Final Fantasy 6, yeah. The exception was 6 being I can bring Mog anyway, because he's a synergy character. So I think that's all I'm going to do for now for this stream. I hope people have found it helpful, and I'll upload this as a complete video, but I'll also cut out the 2 winning runs so that people can see for themselves how I did this without going through all the mistakes. And then I'll see when I next stream. I don't know when that will be. I've got work that I've been waiting to come in and it hasn't, so if I don't see you beforehand, have a good weekend, and I will see you on the next stream. See if there's someone else I can... I think I'm going to raid this guy. I enjoy watching his content. For some reason I think he was recommended by Twitch, and I thought, yeah, I'm curious to watch him try and get world record improvement runs. It's a game that I would like to... I have played before, and I would like to play more of. And hopefully you'll enjoy his content. Okay, something's not... Okay, for some reason it won't let me raid. Let's try copying. No, okay, I'll just let Twitch decide then. For some reason it just says something went wrong. I'll try later, so take care everyone. See you on the next stream.